there's a quiet frustration many people carry without talking about it. Your attention won't stay where you put it. You try to focus and it drifts. You try to be present and something pulls you away. You try to concentrate and your mind seems to have other plans. It's not chaos. It's not overwhelm. It's just uncooperative. And that can be surprisingly irritating, especially if you've spent years learning how to manage yourself. Most people are taught that attention is something you control. You aim it, you hold it, you discipline it. If attention wanders, you bring it back. If it scatters, you tighten it. If it resists, you push harder. So when attention stops responding to control, it can feel like failure, like you've lost a skill you once had. Or worse, like something is wrong with you. But often, attention isn't misbehaving. It's changing roles. For a long time, attention served direction. It helped you pursue goals. It helped you stay productive. It helped you maintain focus on what mattered next. Attention was instrumental. You used it to get somewhere. And because it was serving a future, it needed structure. It needed boundaries. It needed discipline. Living in the space between changes that, when life stops being organized around direction and momentum, attention loses its assignment. There's no longer a clear target to lock onto, no future pulling it forward. So attention begins to move differently. It becomes more sensitive, more responsive, less obedient, and that shift can feel like distraction if you don't recognize it. You might notice that your attention moves toward small things now. Sounds, sensations, passing thoughts, details you used to filter out. Not because you're unfocused, but because there's no longer a reason to narrow. Earlier, narrowing attention helped you move forward. Now, narrowing can feel forced, so attention resists it. You might also notice that attention doesn't stay on tasks the way it used to. You begin something and after a while, attention wanders. Not because the task is hard, but because it no longer needs to be held in place. This is often where frustration appears. You might say things like, "I can't focus like I used to. My attention span is gone. I'm too scattered lately." Those statements assume attention should behave the way it did before. But before, attention was being managed in service of direction. Now, direction has softened, so attention reorganizes. Attention that won't stay where you put it isn't broken. It's no longer interested in being placed. This can feel uncomfortable because attention was one of the last things you felt you had control over. You could lose motivation. You could lose certainty. But attention felt like something you could train, something you could improve, something that made you capable. When that control loosens, it can feel like you're losing competence. But you're not losing capacity. You're losing force. Attention doesn't want to be forced anymore. You may notice this especially when you try to be present. You tell yourself to stay here, to focus on the moment, to pay attention intentionally. And instead of settling, attention resists. It slides away. This can feel ironic. You're trying to be present, and presence won't cooperate. But presence doesn't come from control. It comes from allowance. When you try to control attention, you're still operating in the old framework. A framework where attention is a tool. But attention is no longer functioning as a tool. It's functioning as a response. It moves toward what's alive, what's unresolved, what's relevant now, not what you decide should matter. This is why attention may feel drawn to things that seem unimportant, or repetitive, or unrelated to productivity. It's not misfiring. It's orienting to immediacy instead of outcome. Attention without direction doesn't behave like attention with a goal. And that difference can feel like loss before it feels like freedom. You may notice that attention settles best when you stop trying to place it, when you're not monitoring it, when you're not correcting it. Moments where you forget to manage yourself are often the moments where attention feels most natural. You're absorbed without effort, present without trying. Those moments don't happen because you controlled attention. They happen because you stopped interfering. This can feel counterintuitive if you've been taught that attention requires discipline. But discipline was necessary when attention was being used to push through resistance. Now, resistance has softened, so discipline turns into friction. Attention doesn't need discipline anymore. It needs space. Attention that won't stay where you put it is often a sign that your system no longer wants to be narrowed artificially. It's opening. An opening can feel messy at first. Your awareness feels wider, less organized, less efficient, but also less strained. You're noticing more, feeling more, and that increase in sensitivity can feel overwhelming if you try to manage it. So instead, attention wanders, not because it can't focus, but because it doesn't want to be constrained. This also changes how you relate to thought. Thoughts may appear more frequently, not because your mind is louder, but because you're no longer suppressing or redirecting them automatically. You're noticing them, and noticing thought without immediately engaging it can feel like distraction. But it isn't. It's observation. Earlier, attention latched onto thoughts that helped you move forward. Now it lets thoughts come and go. That freedom can feel like chaos until you recognize it. Attention that won't stay where you put it also affects how you relate to emotion. Emotion may pull attention unexpectedly. You might find yourself lingering on a feeling without analyzing it, or noticing subtle emotional shifts you used to override. This isn't regression. It's contact. Emotion is being allowed to register instead of being managed. And that can feel unfamiliar if you're used to emotional regulation. Regulation requires attention to be controlled. Contact allows attention to move. Living in the space between means attention becomes less obedient and more honest. It moves toward what matters now, not what you think should matter. And that honesty can feel disruptive if you're still trying to live by old rules. You may try to regain control. You might increase structure, force routines, push concentration, but that often creates more tension, because attention isn't interested in returning to a role it's finished with. It's not a discipline problem. It's a contextual shift. Attention changes when the environment changes, and your internal environment has changed. You're no longer moving through life at speed. You're no longer driven by outcomes. So attention stops being a spotlight. It becomes a field. This episode isn't saying you'll never focus again. Focus still happens naturally when something requires it. When there's real engagement, attention gathers effortlessly. But you're no longer forcing attention to stay where it doesn't want to be. You trust it to organize itself. And when you do, attention often becomes clearer, not foggier. More precise, not less. Because it's responding to reality instead of instruction. If you're listening to this and recognizing your own experience, if attention feels slippery lately, if focus feels less obedient, if presence can't be forced, you're not losing your mind. You're living in a context where attention doesn't need to be managed constantly. And that's an adjustment, one that takes time. This season isn't about training attention. It's about understanding why attention is changing, so you don't turn a natural shift into a personal problem. If this reflection helped you feel less frustrated with your own attention, you're welcome to stay with the season as it continues. Liking the video helps it reach others who think they're failing at focus when focus itself is reorganizing. And if someone you care about feels scattered but not distressed, you're welcome to share this with them. Only if it feels right. Attention doesn't always stay where you put it. Sometimes it's trying to show you something. And learning how to listen is part of what this space is for.